Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Sorry, I'm trying to fix the camera here. Oh, there we go. So I got a little stuff playing on in the background. It helps the sacral chakras. And if that's not your thing, that's okay. Just look at the pretty colors. So anyway, gosh, I'm like a hot mess this morning. But I don't mean figuratively, I mean literally. It is humid, but as you can tell by my frizzy curly hair. So I saw the funniest meme this morning, and it says having wavy or curly hair is a fine line between messy romantic waves and a witch from Azkaban. It's not wrong. But if you know what to do, you know how to make it work for you. So I got a few things today. Today is day number 14 of body positivity. And I have this really great poem I want to read. And it's going to be read twice, but for a reason. It's by Abdullah Shoab. I think I said that right. And if I did not, I apologize. But let's start off with the Soul Truth cards. These are just self-awareness cards before we jump into body positivity. A lot of times these cards are like the perfect segue to the topic at hand. So, I don't know. Nothing seems to. Ooh. All right. Well, now we have a group of cards. So, let's see. Let's see which ones it'll be from here. I know. So I had some friends yesterday. Well, one I haven't met yet, but Cheryl and her friend were watching my show yesterday, and I have to tell you, I was almost in tears because it felt so good to know that you're helping people by sharing your story. And that's not the feeling I'm going for. I really just want to help people, but to know that it is working and it is helping is a huge thing for me. So it helps me keep going. So today's card, this is a good one, guys. This is a good one, kids. Am I ready to let go of this buried shame? Am I ready to let go of this buried shame? Are you ready to let go of that buried shame? Are you carrying shame of any kind? And if so, are you ready to let go of it? Are you ready to pull it up and heal it? So the feeling of shame is the lowest energy frequency there is. When you live in shame, you live in darkness. What part of you is ready to stand in the light? Is there any shame from a past experience that is ready to be healed? Today's soul action. Heal the shame by giving it a name. Bring it to the light and let it be seen, heard, and healed. It's revival season. Replace the shame with your soul's truth. And fill in the blank. My soul's truth is. What is your soul's truth? And, it doesn't have to be this, oh, well, I'm going to go I'm going to go create world peace. I'm going to go do this. It could be as everything is big, right? I mean, we all yearn for world peace, but, what is your soul's truth? What is your soul saying? This is who we are. Is it to be free from whatever is holding you back, from whatever, is anchoring you to whatever has happened to you in the past? It could be a lot of different things. So again, the feeling of shame is the lowest energy frequency there is. When you consistently feel shame, you are giving power to not only what happened to you, but to all this negative stuff. And you don't want to live that way. You absolutely do not want to live that way. And I love this card because it does not necessarily go with the topic today, which is trust. And it kind of does, but it definitely goes. I'm pointing at my screen. It definitely goes with the poem I'm going to read you at the end of this. And I want to read it at the end because I really want it to be a sticking point because, like I said, it's going to be read twice. And I'll explain that when we get there. So again, the feeling of shame is the lowest energy frequency there is. When you live in shame, you live in darkness. What part of you is ready to stand in the light? Is there any shame from a past experience that is ready to be healed? I had this, and this is the thing. Am I ready to let go of this buried shame? I was talking about therapy last week. No, the week before. I was talking about therapy a couple weeks ago, right? And how my therapist says, no more visiting the past. You're done with the past. Now it's time for you to live your life. You're young. Go out there. Do it. Just just be out there and do this. And it's been hard to let go of that shame because, like I said, sometimes, we'll curl up with the most uncomfortable thing just because it is familiar with us or to us. It's like some people, they'll put two blankets. Just as an example, right? Just as the two blankets are in front of you. One is a fuzzy, uncomfortable, itchy blanket that you've just would never use in your house, but it's there, right? Maybe it came off your bed, maybe it came off a family member's bed, and this blanket's sitting there. And you're just like, but then there's this brand new shiny blanket. It's comfortable, it's soft. And believe it or not, a lot of people will pick the old scratchy, itchy one because it's familiar. Because it's something that they've seen laying around their house, even though they're not the one that wants to use it. Maybe they have given the better blanket to somebody else and used this one. When you never know, what might be scratchy, itchy, and gross to you may be amazing for someone else. Just like what's soft and whatever may be great for you, but maybe to somebody else. We have to decide how we move forward and how we let go of this shame. Shame is that itchy, scratchy blanket. It's so uncomfortable, but it's familiar. And a lot of times we just hang on to it because we don't know how to let it go. And we're afraid to let it go because we're afraid to wander through life, our own lives, with wonder and curiosity. Because, what happens if? What happens if? There's a great saying from Bridge of Spies from Mark Rylance's character Abel. And whenever they're talking about stuff like, well, what if this happens and what if that happens? He's like, would it help? And basically or would it matter? So basically what he's saying is, would your worrying help? Or would it make a difference? Or would it matter? So I actually have that on my computer. Would it help? And I don't always listen to it, but I'm getting better at this. I'm getting better at learning all these things. And, you're probably sitting there thinking, Shelly Marie, how old are you? How damn old are you, woman? And you're still figuring this out. You know what? Sometimes people will go their entire lives and not figure it out. So I'm grateful that I found out now. I'm grateful that I've been able to tap in and tune in to all these different things and really allow myself to find that healing, to find that grace within myself, to give myself that compassion, that empathy. A lot of times we miss that. That's why I share my age from time to time. I'm 50 years old and I'm sitting here thinking, whoa, how come I'm just getting this now? And that has become a bit of my shame. I took one shame, I healed it, and then I found a whole new thing to be shameful about. But why? Why? Why do we have to keep finding things to be ashamed about? It's that old scratchy blanket, right? That keeps following you everywhere. Just throw it away. Throw it away. Bring it to the light, feel it, heal it, and let it go. And it may not just happen like that. Sometimes feelings and shame and trauma come up as layers, and they're like onions. But when you realize that you're doing okay, when you can face something or your shame and you feel empowered by yourself and how far you've come, it's time to let it go. And I wasn't doing that. Like I mentioned yesterday, I kept packing and unpacking the same things because it was comfortable. There's a great saying out there that says, get comfortable being uncomfortable. But being uncomfortable doesn't have to be a bad thing. Being uncomfortable could be like this, like excited tingles, right? Like you got the excitement tingles. Who doesn't like the excitement tingles, right? Those little butterflies that get all excited when you're going somewhere, or you're meeting somebody, or you're doing something, or you're just out having fun and you're like, yeah, excited tingles. Nobody wants the sad tingles. The sad tingles blow. The shame tingles blow even more. But the shame tingles kind of feed the sad tingles, right? And they kind of remove all the excitement from the excitement tingles. I know you're like, well, listen, why are we talking about tingles? But yeah, so if you need something, a phrase, I probably have it in my head. I just randomly make shit up. So, but not making that up, but just ways to describe things. And I'm sure someone else has used it in this world. I'm sure it's not privy to me, but like my Aloha cup, right? Anyway, normally I don't drink coffee on this show, but boy, my dad makes really good coffee. So anyways, I'm going to read this one last time. Your today's soul action. Heal the shame by giving it a name, bring it to the light, and let it be seen, heard, and healed. Now, not everybody wants people to know their business, right? So you could journal it. If you feel yourself getting a little blue or gloomy, or maybe you feel yourself isolating or sinking backwards into an abyss, please seek professional help. Okay, like I said, you can do it online, you can do it in person, or even a group, because there are groups for this. I know that, sometimes therapy can be so expensive. So if you need a group, then find a group, find a group. Maybe there's a group for everything. Okay. You just got to Google it. And sometimes they're online for privacy. There's a group for anything. There's grief support. There's all kinds of, there's trauma support, people who've been through the same thing. And the funny thing is a lot of times when we hear other people's stories, feeling validated and knowing we're not alone can be helpful. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you realize that all the crappy crap that happened to you has also happened to other people, but you can help each other heal. And sometimes one person might heal faster than another. They might be farther along on their journey, and they can help guide you and walk you through your own. They can help you navigate this weird road sometimes that comes, well, I shouldn't say sometimes, navigate this strange and odd road that comes with shame. And remind you how amazing you are. Remind you what a wonderful human being you are. Okay, so that's your card for today. What am I ready to let go of this buried shame? I'm going to journal about that today because I think I am. It's not buried anymore, but it's certainly there. So day 14 of body positivity. Thank you for hanging in there, guys. We're almost halfway through, which in a way makes me sad, right? Because it's kind of like, oh, and I'll probably do, depending on what day this ends, I might do like a recap of all the most important. Well, they're all important. Every day is important because every day leads up and builds a foundation. The first 10 days that we did were really kind of, what's the word I'm trying to say? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. The first 10 days we're building the foundation. Okay. And when we did the self-love thing, we talked about this, got to build the foundation, right? The self-love thing I did, I think it was last year, was great. I mean, it was really great. And it actually really kind of helped me, but I'm probably going to do it again, just as kind of a recap, because I know there are newer viewers and, we move through life. And as we move through life, we learn to expand and we learn to grow. And in our growth, we come up with new ideas. So like I said, with the body positivity, I've done this twice before, but it was usually pulling something off the internet and saying, yeah, let's talk about this subject. But now I'm actually doing my homework. I'm not being lazy about it because I'm really, really trying to dive in to make sure that, even if it doesn't put somebody on the journey of body positivity, that really kind of helps them lay that foundation, or at least gather the materials for that foundation, right? So that when they're ready, they can build their own home of self-love. So today's topic is trust. Trust is a hard one for me. Trust is a very, very hard one for me. I'm learning it along with patience. You see how well I do with patience. Patience. Patience is like the F word. But so is trust. Actually, I probably do better with trust than I do with patience. But I'm learning patience. And actually, I'm finding it's not as hard as I thought it was. I think I just made it harder than it needed to be. When I was growing up, and I don't know, for a lot of different reasons, there's always a reason behind something. I used to knee jerk a lot. And by that, I mean, it's just like, I'd overreact to something like, oh my God. But I'm really, really working on that. So, patience is a hard one. I should probably do patience at some point. I should probably do patience. It's on the list, guys. It's on the list. So patience is coming. I'm going to show you. I have a whole list of topics that I want us to talk about. And I'll be honest with you, we may go past 30 days, but whew, that is all of it. And some of them have been crossed off. Some of them haven't. And, great topics. So we may go past it, just kind of do those follow-up things that help us kind of really solidify and make sure that this house of positive body positivity is good in that, we take out all the unnecessary, there's good weeds and there's bad weeds, right? There's these beautiful weeds like, some of these, what they call freeway flowers. That's what one of my, my millennials, that's what one of my millennials used to call them, freeway flowers. She used to call me fairy godmother. She's like, because, I could gratitude stuff and make it happen for her. So she would tell me, fairy godmother, I can't believe those freeway flowers are still alive. I know she called me fairy godmother. I love it. I'm probably just saying that so I could share that. But yeah, she's like, I can't believe the freeway flowers are still alive. Like, every so often she would just pop in and randomly buy me flowers if I hadn't already bought some for my desk. And it was so sweet. But it was always funny because what she would deem the freeway flowers would always be the ones that last you for like a month. I'd change the water, I'd clip their things and clip their stems and give them as much life as I could. But there are good weeds, and those are what I really consider to be the freeway flowers. But then there's also the weeds that kind of strangle everything, and that's what we want to get rid of. Body negativity is that weed that strangles all the good stuff. Body positivity, I'm so sorry, there's something happening with my right eye today. But, body positivity are those beautiful freeway flowers that we kind of build and, allow to grow in our yard. These beautiful little things that just kind of pop up and make everything so colorful. And they add to it. They don't take away from it. And that's the whole point of body positivity. It's to add to your life, not take away from it like body negativity does. Body negativity is where shame lives. And we don't want shame to have a home anymore, right? We want shame to hit the bricks, So trust. This card indicates a time where letting go of your human thinking and having faith will serve you. People can confuse surrender and trust, lumping them into the same idea. However, these are different things and require different parts of us. Surrendering often feels darker and you're submerged, unable to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Its lesson is a teaching in rebirth. The rebirth can only happen when you surrender to winter without expecting spring to come around. I.e., this is my note, surrender to the moment. It is a lesson in adapting. Trust is a more intuitive process. There is an element of vision, of knowing what is possible, of seeing the potential and trusting that you will get there when you don't know how you will. It is trusting that the universe will provide the resources and illuminate the path if you show up for it. Reflect around your history with trust. Do you have evidence of how trusting can bring magical solutions? If not, at what point of the process did you give up? So I really, really like that because, we're going to look around, right? And, sorry, I just saw older siblings comment. Good morning, older siblings. She's all, don't huff. I'm good at huffing. I think I just did it again. But, so when you hear this, do you have evidence of how trusting can bring magical solutions? If not, at what point in the process did you give up? Now, people are going to sit there and go, what big, magical, humongous, ginormous thing the size of a semi-truck happened to me? And we're going to think about that and say, it didn't work. It's stupid. It didn't work. But here's the trick. Stop looking for the big miracle, right? Miracles happen every day. Wonderful things happen every day. Magic happens to you every day. Maybe you felt lonely in your life and that you didn't have, enough friends, or maybe you felt like you weren't seen, or maybe you wanted to find someone to commiserate and poof. You go somewhere a couple days later and, magic happens. You meet a person who will eventually become your best friend. I did that when I first moved a county up. So, right now I'm in my hometown, but I moved a county up. And I remember thinking, well, the relationship I was in was not the best one. And, I'm not complaining. It's, it takes two to tango, and it sort of, I was tangoing alone. But it was not the greatest relationship. And I thought, I really want some more friends. I really need friends. And so I'd gone to my very first hockey game, fell absolutely in love with it. So this is like 1996, and still my number one team. And just like my hometown team, sometimes they make them so hard to love. But I digress. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother vibe. And I don't mean like a daily vibe. I mean like a whole different vibe, like sports vibes. But I remember I thought I was very shy, very introverted. And I thought, well, maybe I'll go to a booster club meeting. And so I was really pushing myself. I was really taking myself out of my comfort zone and putting myself in a very uncomfortable place. And I wanted somebody that understood me. I wanted to meet new friends, and not fake friends, but people that were my own friends. And I met older sibling. She immediately took me under her wing. She could see how shy I was. She actually, I just kind of said hi, and she was the social events director at the time for the Booster Club. And I just remember somehow we just clicked. And holy moly, I guess about 25 years later, we're still like sisters, or we're like sisters now. She started out as a friend, became a best friend, and really in a lot of ways she became my spiritual mentor, and she helped open me to a lot of the gifts that I've been hiding because they were conditioned out of me. I was taught that they're bad, that they're evil, and that this and that, and they're not. This is a very spiritual person who's very, very connected to God. And, for all those people out there who were saying, oh, it's the devil's work. No, she's very connected. But, I'm connected to a lot of different people at my spiritual table. But I'm very grateful for older sibling because she really helped guide me in that way. And that was very helpful. So I had to figure out how to trust. Now, you're probably sitting here saying, Shelly Marie, what does trust have to do with body positivity? Well, as I mentioned, circling back just a little bit to finish up that previous thought. Do you have evidence of how trusting can bring magical solutions? The evidence is not always going to hit you upside the head like a big semi-truck, right? Sometimes they're going to be the most minute things, which turn out to be the biggest and most beautiful things, like a little seed. I think sometimes the reason we don't see the magical solutions is because we're looking for something, we're looking for that rainbow to come slap us upside the head, land on you. And sometimes you have to find the rainbow yourself. You're looking for that big rainbow in the sky, right? Maybe somebody says, hey, I just had a dream and something great's going to happen and you might see a hummingbird. So you're looking in the sky everywhere for a hummingbird, and while you're walking, you may pass a painting in a window of a hummingbird. That's your sign. Signs aren't always the way we see them. They're everywhere. You could see, maybe somebody spilled something, or maybe you see a cloud and it looks like a hummingbird. Those are your signs. Those are the magical things that are telling you, keep trusting, it's going to happen. Now, I did mention trusting is not my easy thing. Surrender and trust are different. Surrendering it's letting go of control. But they're kind of like twins in a way, or maybe an older sibling to a younger sibling. You have to have trust to surrender. Because if you don't, you're going to continue on the same patterns. You're going to continue to hold on to that shame that we talked about earlier. You're going to continue to hold on to that pain or that trauma or that anger of something or that grief or whatever it is. But you have to trust that everything is going to be okay. And then you have to be patient. You know what? I think I already have the topics for this week. So maybe Monday we'll talk about patience, okay? But, because I really feel like that's important. That probably should have been the next topic. But, you have to have patience. And like I said, patience is not my strong suit. But you know why I think patience is not my strong suit? Because when you start to trust, I get very impatient. But it's, I'm that person I'm talking about. I'm looking for the rainbow in the sky instead of looking for the rainbows all over the place or the hummingbird all over the place. I just brought up a hummingbird because there's literally one outside my window. But think about it, right? I mean, maybe somebody said something to you and you're all, yeah, you're going to see a big orange blob. And you might happen to pop onto this show and you're like, oh, there's one right behind her head. Or, maybe someone mentioned the word, oh, you're just so goofy. But the person that, your sign will be happening, that they're goofy too. And, there's goofy. So you don't overanalyze something. If you see something and it reminds you of the sign that you're looking for, then it probably is the sign. Or I'm just going to say it. It is the sign, and you just have to trust that. So I know, trust. Trust is not something I should be talking about, but I am talking about it because I know it's something I need to learn. I've had to surrender. I have not trusted my path, which is why I kept revisiting and packing again, packing and unpacking the same thing over and over and over again. We have to learn how to let go. We have to learn how to trust so that we can surrender all this bad, icky stuff. And that has everything to do with body positivity. Shame has everything to do with body positivity. You know, shame keeps you in the body negative. Trust can help you learn how to surrender and move yourself into the body positive. It can help you say to yourself, hey, you're amazing, you're awesome, but you have to trust that. You have to believe that. You have to surrender all your previous beliefs about yourself that maybe you have been taught or you have said to yourself. Sometimes literally we are our own worst enemies because we let those words hurt us. And maybe you're saying, I don't let those words hurt us. Yes, we do. I've let those words hurt me. I have literally taken things to heart of people who are probably insecure. And, you know, that saying, I told you I love, what other people think of you is none of your business. Holy cow. I always made it my business. Well, what are they saying about me? Why are they saying this? I always took it to heart because I put my validation, I put my soul's validation, my body's validation, my outer person's validation in somebody else's hands. I put my worth, is what I actually mean to be saying. I put my worth in other people's hands. You need to validate yourself. You need to be the person that says, hey, no matter what the world thinks about you, you're amazing. And you need to go out there, strut your shit, strut your stuff, and let people know that. Show people, hey, I am amazing. I am great, just the way I am. I am, because like I said, we always worry about our bodies, right? But the body's going to change on the outside. It doesn't stay the same. We talked about this yesterday as well. You start out a baby, you're certainly not an infant anymore, right? You've grown, you're talking, you know everything or whatever. You're an adult. Maybe you have children and you're watching them grow. Maybe you have fur babies and you're watching them grow. They don't stay puppies or kittens or little calves and ponies. Or wait, is a pony different? I don't know. Older sibling would know that. But they don't stay little, is my point. We grow up. And it's time for you to shed all of the things that people may have said to you. Release it. Yesterday's topic was about release. Today is about trust. And I did that on purpose. I put those two together because they needed to be put together. You have to trust in order to release. And releasing is basically another version of surrendering. Letting go of control and knowing that everything is going to work out for the greater and highest good. All right. So I talked about wanting to read a poem to you by Abdullah Shoaib. I believe that's how you say his last name. And again, I apologize if I got it wrong. But, I just lost it. There it is. So it's called, a foal, right. So I knew older sibling would know. She's the horse person. So she used to be a trainer and she used to be an equestrian jumper. So, or an equestrian. I'm still not sure if I ever get that term right, but yes, a pony is a breed. So I apologize. But I am thinking of a foal, F-O-A-L, not a fool, a foal. A foal grows up, right? Then stay a little tiny horse forever. They grow into a big, strong horse. So, gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. I do not know what's happening with my eye today. So anyway, the poem is called Pretty Ugly. Now, what's interesting is it's called Pretty Ugly, but pretty is upside down. So see, I'll show you. I even managed to write it upside down, but pretty is upside down. And there's a reason it's upside down. I'm going to read this poem twice. So the first time I read it, I was like, wow, this is powerful. And it made me cry. It made me hurt. And then I got to the bottom and in parentheses, it says, now read from the bottom up. So this person took the time to formulate a poem that really kind of shows the negative aspect of how we think of ourselves. And then when you read from the bottom up, how we can change that around. So the first part is really going to pertain to body negativity. All right. So it's called Pretty Ugly. I'm very ugly, so don't try to convince me that I'm a very beautiful person, because at the end of the day, I hate myself in every single way. And I'm not going to lie to myself by saying there is beauty inside of me that matters. So rest assured, I will remind myself that I am worthless, terrible, and nothing you say will make me believe I still deserve love. Actually, let me start over because I missed a couple lines. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just, my eye. So, okay, hold on. All right. All these people are I'm in a chat group and they're all getting chatty now. So anyways, again, oh, good Lord. I apologize, you guys. So again, pretty ugly. I'm very ugly, so don't try to convince me that I'm a very beautiful person, because at the end of the day, I hate myself in every single way. And I'm not going to lie to myself by saying there is beauty inside of me that matters. So rest assured, I will remind myself that I am a worthless, terrible person, and nothing you say will make me believe I still deserve love. Because no matter what, I am not good enough to be loved, and I am in no position to believe that beauty does exist within me. Because whenever I look in the mirror, I always think, am I as ugly as people say? How many times have we felt that way, guys? How many times have we sat there and said, ugh, seriously? You know, am I really as horrible and icky and gross as people say I am? Don't listen to other people. People who are insecure are going to try to take down everyone else around them to feel better about themselves. Narcissists will do the same thing. They're not happy with themselves, or they are happy with themselves and they don't want anyone else to be like them. So they get their power by putting people down. Now, I had to write it down because it's not easy for me to read up. So there's this weird disconnect in my brain that I've had my entire life that's just kind of like, eh. So you heard me read that poem about body negativity. Okay, well, it's not body negativity. It's called Pretty Ugly. And like I said, pretty is upside down. And here's why. So, actually, you know what? Yeah, okay. So you heard me read that the first time. Now this is from the bottom up. Am I as ugly as people say? Because whenever I look in the mirror, I think beauty does exist within me, and I am in no position to believe that I am not good enough to be loved, because no matter what, I still deserve love, and nothing you say will make me believe that I am a worthless, terrible person. So rest assured, I will remind myself there is beauty inside of me that matters, and I'm not going to lie to myself by saying I hate myself in every single way, because at the end of the day, I am a beautiful person, so don't try to convince me that I'm very ugly. How about that? Those are the same words. They're the same words, they're just backwards. They're just not backwards, they're just upside down. Somebody took the time to write this poem to show people that what we say is what we hear. It's what we end up processing, and it ends up being what we see. When we read the first poem through, right? That's why pretty is upside down in the title. Pretty is upside down in the title because he's showing you that when you flip your script, it's a whole different meaning. These are all the same words. These are all the same things that he is saying from the top down when you first start to read it. And when I first read this and I saw, now read from the bottom up, I had to keep stopping because I was in tears. Because I realized, oh my God, I am saying all these horrible things to myself and I'm believing them. I'm listening to other people and I'm believing them. I'm hearing other people's snarky comments about my size and I'm hearing them and I am taking it to heart. And I'm listening to other people when I should be listening to myself. Or even listen to the people around you. The people around you that love you, that care about you, that just love you just as you are, because you are enough for them. You are loved by them. And yet we put our worth in the hands of a stranger. We put our worth in the hands of somebody who doesn't know us. We put our worth in people who just try to troll you and tear you down. How many times have you seen that when you're on social media, right? Maybe, for me, my Facebook page is only family and friends. But I do make all this other stuff public. So I do make a lot of stuff public. So if you come to my page, it's not just the Aloha Perspective. There's a lot of other stuff. But you know, I am on Twitter and I am on Instagram, but Twitter is like a cesspool of negativity. But for some reason, I just feel like I need to put my light in there. Sometimes I get, you know, go in the opposite direction. And it's just like, what the hell are these people thinking? But no, there have been times when, you know, you go on there and you say something somebody doesn't agree with. So they go through your profile, right? They go look through all your pictures and they call you, you know, I've been called a fat bitch. I've been called a fat, ugly bitch. Oh, this fat, ugly bitch doesn't know anything. She's, you know, blah, 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 blah. Been called a hippie a bunch of times, which actually I don't care. I mean, I would say I'm a flower child more than a hippie if I'm going to be labeled. But a long time ago, those things would hurt me. Those things did hurt. It's like, you don't even know me. Now it's just kind of like, dude, you don't even know me. What's your problem? And the funny thing is sometimes when you just, you know, you don't have to believe them when you agree with them. But when you take the, you know, sometimes they'll be like, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. And they hate that because what they're trying to do is goad you into a fight. Don't bite. Don't bite. There are a lot of times when I sit there and it's like I really want to respond to something and I have a whole thing written out and then it's just like cancel. It's not worth it. It's like it's not worth it. I think ahead now and I think, is this something I really want to dive into? These people are ignorant and let them be ignorant. They're just people, you know, and in their everyday lives, they may be the most fun, amazing people, but maybe they have an insecurity. Maybe they have some darkness inside of them that they haven't been able to heal. So they go to social media to get it all out. They yell at people they don't know because they figure, oh, well, I can get it out now and it's not going to matter because I don't know these people. But what they don't realize is the damage they might be doing to somebody else. They feel better and they don't give a shit whether they're tearing somebody else down or not because they feel better. So don't put your worth in the hands of a stranger, okay? I'm going to post this poem in the comments. And if you're on YouTube, you can go to Facebook under Shelly Marie Lucas. You can go to today's video. You can check it in the comments because I know I can't really put the picture in there. And, you know, I'm not that technologically savvy to put this in the video. So not yet anyways. I'll probably, you know, I should probably just YouTube a bunch of stuff and do some homework and get it right so you guys aren't watching me on a half screen all the time. But I really want you guys to read this poem. Okay? Maybe what I can do is in the comments, I could probably write it in the comments. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay? So, but the point is, I really want you to take this poem to heart. I really want you to really, really think about it, how we talk about ourselves. You know, I'm very ugly, so don't try to convince me that I'm a very beautiful person. And yet, when you read from the bottom up, I'm a very beautiful person, so don't try to convince me that I'm very ugly. That's where we need to be. We need to go from negative to positive. We need to listen to the people around us who love us, but most importantly, you need to listen to yourself. You need to build that self-love. You need to build that body positivity. And you need to, you know, let the negativity stay behind you. Let the negativity stay with all those other people. If you have shame that needs to be let go of, start to heal it. If you're holding on to it and you've already healed it, let it go. Surrender to that. Let go of control and learn how to trust. Trust is a big thing. Patience can be a big thing too. And, you know, I don't think I give myself enough credit for how patient I have become. So I know I need to do that too. All right. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. And yeah, I'll be back here tomorrow for Self-Care Wednesday. It'll probably be a short show because it's a travel day for me and I'm training at home tomorrow. So I will probably try to make it short. So again, have a great, great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. I'll be back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public. Anybody can watch. It's under Shelly Marie Lucas. Or you can watch the replay on YouTube under the Aloha Perspective, and I also share these to my Facebook page, the Aloha Perspective. Now, if you are a person who's on the go and you don't have time to watch me for, X amount of minutes and you want something quick and fast, you can go to the Aloha Perspective on TikTok, where I do the same thing. Sometimes, what comes out of my brain is a little bit different on that one. So even if you watch this one, if, you want to just put this on in the background and listen to it, something might pop out that I didn't say in this one. But it's 10 minutes or less, and I call it the Quickie Express Aloha Perspective. So there you go. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, it's time to let go of the shame, surrender your control over everything, and just trust that everything is going to work out. Have a great day.